Hello, beautiful people. It is Oshun Kimmy, your sage, your guru, your mystic, and your spiritual informant. And today we are continuing our series of conversations where we're thinking about certain mood, personality, and psychological disorders from a spiritual perspective. So, we're thinking about anxiety from a spiritual perspective, specifically the sort of connections between anxiety that is induced or caused by spell work, sorcerers, entities, right? So, entities and sorcerers will manipulate the energy body, specifically the chakra points, to create openings in the aura so that they can then attach cords and parasites to a person, to the chakra points, to harvest a person's energy, perform karmic transference or destiny swaps, and etc. And as I always say, spell work needs an open door in order for it to land and affect your life in the ways that the spellcaster wanted it to affect your life. So an opening essentially has to be created. And one of the primary ways that sorcerers will gain access to the aura so that their spell work can work is by sending energies and entities to disturb and weaken the energy body and the aura. So anxiety is indication of an energetic imbalance, and any energetic imbalance is going to affect the aura. When there are holes or tears in our aura, it is like being spiritually naked, or as though the front door to your house is open. All the windows are open, all the doors are open, and so any energy can walk, fly, slither in, etc. And so, from a spiritual and energetic perspective, anxiety is a state whereby the energy body is ungrounded. So, the energy body, unlike the physical body, is not solid matter. It is more fluid because it's made up of little energetic particles. And the beauty of that is that our energy body is malleable enough to reshape it however we want to or need to, based on our circumstances and based on the desired form or shape that we want to give to our energy. So as we grow more advanced in our spiritual practice and our spiritual knowledge, and we learn what our spiritual animals are, what our spiritual form is, ideally, as we grow in our spiritual practice, we will be able to reshape our energy body so that our energy body matches our true spiritual form. The other side of this coin is that if we are not careful and we're not shaping the energy body to ground it, to fortify it, to protect ourselves, then our energy can be very scattered and all over the place. And so at its core, anxiety means that our spiritual rhythm is off. And you all know how much I love my sacred geometry, okay? I'm always talking about how we have a unique energetic blueprint and code that makes us who we are, that gives us character and style. And so this energetic code is made up of shapes, patterns, colors, vibrations, and even rhythmic forms. So when we are anxious, our energy is ungrounded or scattered, then this means that our energy code or our matrix will be glitching. The rhythm will be off. The patterns will be warped. The vibes will not be vibing, right? So what happens when the vibes are not vibing? When our natural rhythm is off? Then we lose our sense of self. We lose our passion for life. We don't feel as devoted to our destinies and to our spiritual walk. We don't feel as connected to the divine source and to our spirit team. And we become hollow shells of our true, sort of authentic higher self. And so this is how the energy of our destiny is harvested. I've talked before about how our destiny is not a thing, it's not a place, it's not a destination. It is an energy. It is codes, it is stars, it is patterns, numbers, colors, etc. And so it is an energy of prosperity, of wealth, of vitality. So the only way that the energy of our destiny can be siphoned from us is if we are not actively standing in our destiny and using the energy of our destiny to shape our day-to-day life. And so from a spiritual perspective, one of the main things that brings us into a state of anxiety or energetic imbalance is living out of alignment with our destiny, when we are living out of alignment with our true energetic code, that brings us into a state of disharmony. And when we are in a state of disharmony, we are more prone to anxiety, to mental disorders, to spiritual and emotional disorder, right? And so living in alignment with our destiny looks like living with spirit at the center of our existence. And so ideally, the remedy to anxiety from a spiritual perspective is to get our life into alignment with our spiritual purpose, with our spiritual gifts, and with our spiritual walk. And so we have to shift from flesh ego-centered living toward soul-centric living, where everything we consume, every thought that we entertain, every action that we take has to meet a certain qualification. And this qualification is it good for my spirit? Is this taking me deeper into soul-centered living? Is it taking me deeper to God and to the divinity, both within and outside of myself? Is it taking me closer to love? And so if the answer is no, I don't think so, maybe not, then we must be willing to admit that and release the ego's desire to have or do that thing or to entertain that thought or that behavior. So when we are focused on soul-centered living, we are putting the ego's desire to the side to give ourselves what our spirit really needs. Ashe? Ashe. So some other forms of assistance for anxiety is listening to healing frequencies. Like when you go to sleep at night, if you can put in some headphones, listen to certain frequencies for certain chakra points, or even listening to like water, the ocean, rain, etc. This is going to heal the nervous system as you sleep. Guided meditation to strengthen our inner light and activate the heart chakra. Focusing your meditations on the heart chakra will be golden for someone experiencing anxiety. I am always going to recommend the herbal remedies, teas, detoxes, and inner cleansings to clear out the gut and the intestines, because the gut is directly connected to the mind, to the thoughts, and therefore to the nervous system. So detoxing is especially necessary when it comes to dealing with parasitic entity attachments, which can attach to our energy body and take root into our inner body, the intestines, the gut. So people dealing with anxiety caused by entity attachments are very usually dealing with attachments and impurities in the root chakra. And any imbalances, disturbances, or parasitic entities in the root chakra is going to send negative signals to the crown chakra, resulting in negative and disturbed thinking patterns and anxiety. So attachments to the lower chakras in general, especially the sacral and the solar plexus, will also lead to heart chakra imbalances, which when dealing with anxiety, being in that constant state of fear is a sign of heart chakra blockages, right? So breath work and eating for the chakras will also be very helpful. So basically eating for the chakras is a process of eating a very colorful plate of fresh foods to help regenerate the physical body, the energetic body, as well as the aura. Because besides sorcery and spell work, there are many things external to us that can cause anxiety. And so some of these external factors are like EMF frequencies from living in a heavily technological, electrical, and wireless society. Also things like pesticides and pollutants in our air, our water, our food. These things are going to significantly impact our aura and our spirits. And so when it comes to dealing with anxiety caused by our surrounding environments, I suggest spending as much time in nature as you can. Become one with the elements as much as possible through morning walks, getting fresh air, sunbathing, hiking, earthing, etc. We were not made to live in separation from the elements in the ways that we do now. It goes 100% against our spiritual nature. And so just by being so far removed from nature, we are essentially living out of spiritual alignment. And so perhaps in another video, I'll go further into depth about the types of astral parasites that exist and how they actually affect the energy body, where they attach to, what their nature is, if we want to go into that. So for now, if you feel called to book a one-on-one session with me to gain further insight into any spiritual situation in your life, I will be honored to help however I can. If you'd like to access deeper esoteric knowledge, please feel free to join us on the Patreon. Peace and bliss. See you at the next video. Ashe.